Good Yontif, Gemar Tov, Shana Tova. It is so nice to be with all of you and an honor to continue this journey of the soul during these days of awe, 5,782, whether you are here with us in person or watching remotely from home. And before we start our Kol Nidre service with the lighting of our Yontif candles, I want to wish each and every one of you, all of us here and around the world, a Gemar Chatima Tova. May we all be inscribed in the Sefer Chaim, in the Book of Life, for a new year that is sweet and healthy and happy, better than the year we've had, transformative if possible, a year that we can all look forward to. May that be the outcome for every single one of us, and let's all say Amen. We're going to begin our Kol Nidre service with the lighting of our Yontif candles, as I said, and you can follow along on page 9. And I'd like to invite Deborah Greenstein to please honor us with that. You can if you want to. You just stand right on the X.
Oh, okay. These matches very often. Baruch atah Adonai noteh botenu chaye olam. The human spirit is the lamp of God searching out what lies within us. Guided by the flame of conscience, on this sacred night we search for truth. Shine your light upon us as we strive to serve you. May we find safety in your faithful love. We light the flame of healing and forgiveness on this atonement night, and we give thanks for love. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner
shel Yom HaKippurim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Yom HaKippurim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, sheheanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh.
We continue on page 14. And let's read this page responsively. I'll read the first stanza, and then please read after me, and so on. Yom Kippur, the Jewish people's festival of the soul, and Kol Nidre, its sacred portal, a night of deep emotions, a night, as the psalmist wrote, to rejoice with trembling. We tremble at the melody, music of spiritual amazement. It fills us with awe as we stand before God and Torah. We tremble, for tonight we confess our flaws, admit our imperfection, and acknowledge a power far beyond our understanding. We tremble, for we find that our ideals are far greater than our ability. Our promises surpass our might. We tremble because we are mortal. We rejoice in our gratitude for life. Please rise. We continue together in English at the bottom of page 18. All vows, resolves, and commitments, vows of abstinence and terms of obligation, sworn promises and oaths of dedication that we promise and swear to God and take upon ourselves from this day of atonement until next day of atonement, may it find us well. We regret them, and for all of them we repent. Let all of them be discarded and forgiven, abolished and undone. They are not valid and they are not binding. Our vows shall not be vows, our oaths shall not be, and our oaths, they shall not be oaths.
Kol Nidre Vesare V'charame V'koname V'chinu ye V'chinu se Ushavu Di dana uri ishtabana Vedasana al nafshatana Miyom Kippurim Ayom Kippurim Miyom Kippurim Had Yom Kippurim Haba Aleinu Letova Icharatna v'hon Kul hon Yahon Sharon Yahon Sharon Yahon Sharon Yahon Sharon Sheking Shriting Batelin Umvutalin La Shririn V'la Kayamin Nidrana Nala la Nidre Vesanala Esare Ushavu Atana Ushavu Atana Ushavu Atana Leshavu
Please remain standing if you are able. We turn now to page 22 for our call to worship the Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam
I've been reading some poetry during these days of awe. Last week on Rosh Hashanah, I read from Delmore Schwartz, a Bay Area poet named Stephen Mitchell. Tomorrow, we're going to be reading some poetry from Yehuda Amichai, very important Israeli poet, and a couple of others. But tonight, I wanted to read a brief poem by Alden Solovey. I've read some of his poems on Shabbat, and he has written something that I think is relevant to tonight. It's called The Season of Return. This is the season of return, of returning to ourselves and to our people, of returning to our God and returning to our calling. This is the season of quiet, of quieting the mind to hear the voice, of quieting the heart to hear the soul, of quieting the self to make space for the Ein Sof, the infinite one. This is the season of surrender, of surrendering odd quirks and old habits to dignity and kindness, of surrendering fear and despair to hope and adventure, to honor and service. This is the season of returning to wholeness and love, to prayer and charity, to family and friends. This is the season that reminds us of who we are and who we might become. The season that summons us to return ourselves to purpose and our lives to God's holy word. We're going to continue now on page 26 with Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadta. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadta. Al Kein Adonai Eloheinu, B'shokmeinu Bechukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, uv'mitzvotecha, le'olam va'ed. Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadta. When we lie down, when we rise up, this joy will last forever. When we lie down, when we rise up, this joy will last forever. Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Hukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadita.
Baruch atah Adonai, Oheva Mo Yisrael, may we never lose or be unworthy of your love, for you are blessed, the one who loves your people, Israel. The Shema is on page 28.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod, Malchuto Leolam, Leolam Va'ed. You shall love Adonai. You shall love Adonai. You shall love Adonai, your God, with all your mind, with all your strength, with all your being, with all your being. Set these words which I command you this day upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your homes and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. You shall love Adonai. You shall love Adonai. You shall love Adonai, your God. Bind them for a sign upon your hand. Let them be a symbol before your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates, that you do all my commandments and be holy unto your God. You shall love Adonai. You shall love Adonai. You shall love Adonai, your God.
At this point in our Kol Nidre service, I would like to call to the Bima, or call back to the Bima, our CBS President, Mark Samrick.
Lashana Tova.
Shana Tova.
It is so nice to see those of you who are in the synagogue this evening and those of you who are tuning in on YouTube. Like myself, I'm sure that all of us felt that by this time we would have this unbelievable health issue in our rearview mirrors. This COVID pandemic has played havoc on all of our lives. It certainly seems so obvious that this can easily be controlled as we pray that the majority of our citizens get vaccinated and wear masks where appropriate. Let's hope that everyone eventually and quickly see the light. One of the true joys and privileges of being president is having the opportunity to represent our synagogue at our bar and bat mitzvah celebrations. I have the honor to present gifts to the B'nai Mitzvah students on behalf of the synagogue. To watch and observe each of them conduct the Shabbat service has really touched me. Every one of them did such a beautiful job davening their Haftarah, reading out of the Torah, and delivering such thoughtful and meaningful remarks in their speeches. Such amazing poise for these young adults. And to add to that fact, that many of them have had to have their date postponed as many as 3 times because of the pandemic, even magnifies their commitment to their B'nai Mitzvah. I also have to mention tonight that I had the privilege, while attending these B'nai Mitzvahs, of sitting next to their instructor, Ann Persillet, at each of these events. How fortunate we are as a synagogue to have Ann helping these young adults prepare for this important day in their lives. You could just see and feel her pride as they flawlessly completed their work. And thank you to both Rabbi Goldstein and Gordon Lustig for their work with these young people to have such a memorable experience. I was also pleased to attend the end of August, our opening day of religious school. And we had our new education coordinator, Leah Savage, who did a beautiful job welcoming our students and parents to a return to on-site schooling after more than a year of having the program completely virtual through Zoom. It was a wonderful morning of singing, meeting teachers, and just a general feeling of excitement and enthusiasm. I share these thoughts with you on Kol Nidre evening as we begin our L'Dor V'Dor annual fundraising campaign. Of all the financial decisions that we make as a synagogue, nothing seems to me to have a more lasting and enduring commitment to our future as a Jewish community than our support of the education of our children. In the V'Ahavta that we just read, there is a verse that says, "Teach these words diligently to your children." This idea, embedded in arguably one of the most important of all Jewish prayers, is that it is a parent's and a community's obligation to hand down these words to our youth so that our children will in turn use them to guide their lives. On this beautiful evening of Kol Nidre, in addition to our need to support our children and their education, I want to share with you that we have many financial obligations in order to provide our CBS community with rabbinical and staff support, as well as maintaining these beautiful facilities that we are so blessed to have. I am so proud of the progress we have made as a synagogue, and I ask that you keep all of that in mind as you make your annual commitment to L'Dor V'Dor. This past year, we have been unable to hold any of our in-person fundraisers that help supplement and support our budget. Without them, CBS is in need of your financial support through our L'Dor V'Dor annual fundraising campaign more than ever. On behalf of your Board of Trustees, please let me wish you a very healthy, happy, and safe 5782.
Please turn to page 40. We're going to continue with the singing of Mi Chamocha.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef elef, malchutecha ra'u banecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Ze Eli anu ve'amru Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed v'ne'emar ki fadad Adonai et Yaakov u'ga'alo miyad chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai, Baruch hu Baruch Shemo, Ga'al Yisrael.
Page 43. And let's read the short passage at the very top of that page together. When fears multiply and danger threatens, when sickness comes, when death confronts us, it is God's blessing of shalom that sustains us and upholds us, lightening our burden, dispelling our worry, restoring our strength, renewing our hope, reviving us.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Haskivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Haskivenu, Leshalom. Vehamidenu, Shomreinu Lechayim. Ufros aleinu, Sukkot Shlomecha. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Leshalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
On this Kol Nidre, on this most sacred night of the year, let's all take a moment now to have our own silent thoughts and prayers.
you'll find the words to Elohai Nitzor on page 80. Elohai Nitzor Lishoni Mira Usfatai Midaber Mirma Olim Kalalai Nafshi Tidom Benafshi Ka'afar Lakol Tiye Elohai Elohai. I'm going to go up here, but you can just stay on that note if you want, because that's the harmony. Elohai Nitzor Lishoni Mira Usfatai Midaber Mirma Olim Kalalai Nafshi Tidom Benafshi Ke'afar Lakol Tiye Elohai 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 Nitzor Lishoni Mira Usfatai Midaber Mirma Olim Kalalai Nafshi Tidom Benafshi Ke'afar Lakol Tiye Elohai Elohai Patach libi Patach libi Patach libi B'Torah Techa Nitzor Lishoni Mira Usfatai Midaber Mirma Olim Kalalai Nafshi Tidom Benafshi Ke'afar Lakol Tiye Elohai 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 Nitzor Lishoni Mira Usfatai Midaber Mirma Olim Kalalai Nafshi Tidom Benafshi Ke'afar Lakol Tiye Elohai Elohai Yihu l'ratzon imrefi V'hegyon libi Lefanecha Adonai 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 Tzuri Adonai Tzuri B'Goali.
We continue on page 82 with the Vidui. Our God and God of all generations, may our prayers reach your presence. And when we turn to you, do not be indifferent. Adonai, we are arrogant and stubborn, claiming to be blameless and free of sin. In truth, we have stumbled and strayed, we have done wrong. And together at the bottom, of these wrongs, we are guilty. We betray, we steal, we scorn, we act perversely. We are cruel, we scheme, we are violent, we slander. We devise evil, we lie, we ridicule, we disobey. We abuse, we defy, we corrupt, we commit crimes. We are hostile, we are stubborn, we are immoral, we kill. We spoil, we go astray, we lead others astray.
Ay, 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 ay. Ashamnu, Ashamnu, Begadnu, Gazalnu, Dibarnu Dofi.
Dibarnu Dofi.
Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Hevinu.
Hevinu.
V'hir shanu.
V'hir shanu.
Zadnu.
Zanu.
Chamasnu.
Hamasnu.
Tafalnu sheker.
Tafalnu sheker.
Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ya'atznu ra.
Ya'atznu ra.
Kizavnu.
Kizavnu.
Latznu.
Latznu.
Maradnu.
Maradnu.
Niatznu.
Niatznu.
Saranu.
Saranu.
Avinu.
Avinu.
Pashanu.
Pashanu.
Saranu.
Saranu.
Kishinu oref.
Kishinu oref.
Ay, 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 ay. Rashanu.
Rashanu.
Shichatnu.
Shechanu.
Tiavnu.
Tiavnu.
Tainu.
Tainu.
Titanu.
Titanu.
Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay.
Page 86. And let's read together from the top of the page. For these sins, our God, we ask forgiveness. The ways we have wronged you, deliberately and by mistake, and harm we have caused in your world through the words of our mouths. The ways we have wronged you by hardening our hearts, and harm we have caused in your world through careless speech. The ways we have wronged you through lies and deceit, and harm we have caused in your world through gossip and rumor. The ways we have wronged you by judging others unfairly, and harm we have caused in your world through disrespect to parents and teachers. The ways we have wronged you through insincere apologies, and harm we have caused in your world by mistreating a friend or neighbor. The ways we have wronged you through violence and abuse, and harm we have caused in your world through dishonesty in business. For all these failures of judgment and will, God of forgiveness, forgive us, pardon us, lead us to atonement.
Ve'al kulam Eloah salichot Salach lanu mecholanu kapelanu Ve'al kulam Eloah salichot Salach lanu mecholanu Salach lanu mecholanu kapelanu.
Page 106. Our relationship with God is always evolving and always changing, and sometimes God is a father to us, sometimes a mother, sometimes a shepherd, sometimes a creator, a companion, a sovereign. And this is a song that expresses many of the different ways we think of God and relate to God at different points in our lives. It's called Ki Anu Amecha.
Ki anu amecha v'ata Eloheinu, anu vanecha v'ata avinu, anu avadecha v'ata Adonenu, hanu kehalecha v'ata chelkeinu, anu nachalatecha v'ata goraleinu, anu tzonecha v'ata roeinu, anu charmecha v'ata notreinu, anu fa'ulatecha v'ata yotreinu, anu rayatecha v'ata dodenu, anu segulatecha v'ata kerovenu, anu amecha v'ata malkeinu, anu ma'amirecha v'ata ma'amireinu.
We turn to page 114 for Avinu Malkeinu. Please rise. I'll be reading the first 3 lines and the last 3 lines of this section, and you should feel free to join me. Avinu Malkeinu, Almighty and merciful, hear our voice. Avinu Malkeinu, we have strayed and sinned before you. Avinu Malkeinu, have compassion on us and on our families. Avinu Malkeinu, let the gates of heaven be opened to our prayer. Avinu Malkeinu, hear our voice, treat us with tender compassion. Avinu Malkeinu, Almighty and merciful, answer us with grace, for our deeds are wanting. Save us through acts of justice and love.
Avinu Malkeinu, Chonenu Vaneinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Chonenu Vaneinu, Ki ein banu mahasin, Aseh imanu, Tzedakah v'chesed, Aseh imanu, Tzedakah v'chesed, v'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chonenu Vaneinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Chonenu Vaneinu, Ki ein banu ma'asim, Aseh imanu, Tzedakah v'chesed, Aseh imanu, Tzedakah v'chesed, v'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chanenu Vaneinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Chonenu Vaneinu, Ki ein banu ma'asim.
Please be seated. Good Yontif, Gemar Tov, Shana Tova, a happy and a sweet new year to all of us. Last week on Erev Rosh Hashanah, I discussed some of the challenges of our age, pressing current events that by definition relate to our specific time and our specific place in history. Tonight, on Kol Nidre, I want to focus instead on something that is timeless, something that is always relevant and important, irrespective of when you live or where you live. There is a Torah portion, Nitzavim, which occurs toward the end of the book of Deuteronomy, that has been viewed as so important spiritually, it is read in Reform synagogues on Yom Kippur rather than the traditional Parsha. Josh Slater will chant it for us tomorrow morning from this very podium. In Nitzavim, the Israelites stand at the threshold of the Promised Land. Their 40 years of wandering in the Sinai desert have finally come to an end, and their future is uncertain. Moses will soon die, and the words of this Parsha are part of the prophet's farewell to his people. Atem Nitzavim, Moses says, you stand this day, all of you, before the Lord your God, your tribal heads, your elders and your officials, all the men of Israel, your children, your wives, even the stranger within your camp, from the wood chopper to the water drawer, to enter into the covenant of the Lord your God. The powerful bond between the Israelites and God is a democratic one, egalitarian in nature, and expansive in scope. Regardless of gender, age, or one's station in life, the moral and spiritual responsibilities of the Torah are applicable to everyone. But these obligations are not only democratic, they are also timeless. Moses continues, speaking for God. I make this covenant with its sanctions not with you alone, but both with those who are standing here with us this day and with those who are not with us this day. The laws of God and the relationship between God and God's people are eternal. They transcend time and place. They are binding on all, both present as well as future generations of Jews. The fact that the Torah is incumbent on everyone, even those not yet born, might seem a little confusing and daunting. But Moses tries to reassure his people. Surely this instruction which I enjoin upon you this day is not too baffling for you, nor is it beyond reach. He tells them that the teachings of their religion are not in the heavens or beyond the sea, metaphors for a spiritual path so remote and inaccessible that they seem almost impossible to follow. Instead, Moses says, no, the thing is very close to you, in your mouth and in your heart, that you should observe it. This is a poetic and poignant image. The words of Torah, teachings of the Jewish faith, are within all of us. God has implanted them inside our souls, and it is our mission and our lifelong challenge to tap into them, to nurture them, and to actualize them through our deeds. Nitzavim makes it clear that it is up to us as to whether or not we follow this spiritual path. We are free to accept or reject the demands of the covenant, but there will be consequences to our decisions. See, the address continues, I set before you this day life and prosperity, death and adversity. And to reinforce the message, Moses says, I call heaven and earth to witness against you this day. I have put before you life and death, blessing and curse. Our options appear to be stark and binary. If we embrace and observe the rules of the covenant, we will be rewarded. If we disregard or reject them, we will be punished. For many of us, this theology is too black and white when compared to our lived experiences. The teachings of Judaism do at times seem remote and obscure. Bad things do sometimes happen to good people. Wicked people sometimes do get away with unethical behavior. Our world today is marked by nuance and ambiguity, not certainty and automatic outcomes. Will God actually reward us if we keep kosher? Will we be punished if we work on Shabbat? Very few of us here believe in these pre-modern ideas, and we need to come up with new ways of understanding and interacting with the practices of our tradition if they are to remain relevant and vital in our lives. As Jews who live in a modern culture and context, the covenant, regardless of how our relationship with God actually plays out in the real world, can sometimes feel like a burden. Is the serious practice of Judaism today truly that easy? Is it really truly in our mouths and in our hearts, as the Torah tells us it is? Most of us in the non-Orthodox community would say no. It is very challenging indeed to be observant, to be religious in contemporary America, for the reasons I've noted tonight, as well as a number of others. But our covenant, our brit, our spiritual legacy is also a blessing, even if it is demanding and at times baffling. The rites, rituals, ceremonies, and values of the Jewish tradition can give our lives meaning and purpose. They can inspire us to be better people and to build stronger communities. They can comfort, enliven, and elevate our souls. Judaism is literally our lifeline, particularly during difficult times such as these. At the end of tomorrow's Torah portion, Moses exhorts the Israelites to choose life. Whether it is the tree of life, Eitz Chaim, in the Torah service, the book of life, Sefer Chaim, during the days of awe, or the preservation of life, Pikuach Nefesh, Judaism always advocates that we embrace life and the traditions and structures that ennoble it, even when they are sometimes unclear, even when we don't fully understand their function or ultimate goal. On this Kol Nidre, at this most sacred time of year, and on every day that follows, the choice is ours to make. May we choose wisely. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will.
God said to Moses, tell the people. God said to Moses, tell the world the right way to act, the kind way to give, the right way to think about how to live. And you shall be holy, for I am holy. You shall be holy, I am your God. It's not for a reward, it's not the price of heaven. I created you to be like me, to make a better world. And you shall be holy, for I am holy. You shall be holy, I am your God. Kedoshim Tehiyu, Ki Kadosh Ani Adonai Elohechem. And you shall be holy, for I am holy. You shall be holy, I am your God. And you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Love your neighbor as yourself. Life has meaning. God is in this place. The commandment to be holy can be found in your neighbor's face. And you shall be holy, for I am holy. You shall be holy, I am your God. And you shall be holy, for I am holy. You shall be holy, I am your
We continue with the Aleinu on page 116. Please rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'ateit gedula liotzeher breshit, shelo asanu kigoye haratzot, velo samanu kamishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gohor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד Bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad shemo echad Bayom hahu Yeh Adonai echad.
Please be seated. As we reach the end of our service, we think of those who are no longer with us, those who have died both recently and in seasons past. We remember and honor those who have died during this past 12 months. Estelle Eisenberg, Rosie Rosenthal, Elliot Kapchan, Bill Chiat, Ed Hames, Arthur Waldinger, Judy Donaldson, Elizabeth Mautner, Helen Goodman, Michael Duff Fisher, Margaret Mary Oliveto, Ahuva Ben David, Dr. I. Harold Shevlin, Isadora Smith, Sanford Rubin, Stuart Paley, Bonnie Kapeloff Mamie, Dr. Ian Miller, Jimmy Rabb, Sandra Somick, Michael Gordon, Larry Elson, and Arnold Trombler. We also remember and honor the art sites, the anniversaries of the deaths of Ken Levine, Gail Vida Feingold, Gary Stoltz, Martin A. Cohen, Louis Kamer, Eliyahu Davidian, Fred Novus, Grace Becker, Marion S. Lehman, William Isidore Teller, Sylvia Galler, Donald David, and Beatrice Samrick. And if anyone has the name of a loved one they wish to share, please do so.
E.G. Siegel.
The Mourner's Kaddish is on page 126. Please rise. I'm sorry, page 122. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei rabbah be'alma divrach chirateh v'yamlich malchuteh b'chayachon v'yomechon uv'chayeh dechol Beit Yisrael b'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevorach le'alam u'lamei maya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseb v'yitadar v'yitalel v'yitalal shmei dekudsha b'richu le'ela u'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'yimru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved, and let us all say amen. Please be seated. Before Gordon leads us in our final song, let me first thank Gordon and Lauren and all of the volunteers who helped us tonight and throughout these days of awe. Thank you very much. And just a quick announcement about tomorrow. The family service will be at 9:30 outdoors in the same spot we did the Rosh Hashanah family service led by the two of us. Hopefully you can join us if you have kids or for yourselves. The general service will be at 10:30 in here as usual. There will be a break after the morning service, and then we'll resume again at 3 o'clock for the healing service. 4 o'clock will be the afternoon service, and then at 5 o'clock we will have Yisker, the Ne'ilah service, and then at the very end of the Ne'ilah service, after we blow the shofar, after you blow the shofar, we'll have Havdalah. So if you're coming at the very end and you want to join Gordon and blow the shofar, please bring your shofar with you. And I think that's it in terms of the schedule for tomorrow. So, closing song.
Yeah, we're going to return again. But before we do that, I want to thank somebody too. You know, sometimes they say things are right in your own backyard, you don't realize it. So the cello player practically lives in my backyard. He's walking distance from my house. And his name's Jeffrey McFarland Johnson. Been in Napa for many years.
Nice
So I
Jewish
wanna
boy.
Thank
right?
him. Oh, yeah. Well, when I wrote to him, I said, I'd like you to play this thing called Kol Nidre, because I played it a million. I mean, he knew it. As we were practicing, he goes, well, that's not exactly how it goes, but that, but I can do it that way, he said. So page 127. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. So I'm going to stop playing. We don't get together that much, especially with this many people, and get to sing together. So we'll just listen to our voices. I think it'd be a great way to leave tonight's service. Here we go. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul.
Gemar Tov, Shana Tova, have an easy fast.